Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Dr. Arnold Nerenberg. It's my privilege and my pleasure to be here with you, to have this opportunity to share with you insights, lessons, inspirations of a lifetime that spans over 83 years to date and going. The clock's still ticking. And I've been a licensed clinical psychologist in the state of California since 1974. I've been in practice for going on 50 years. Now, I'm a clinical psychologist and I'm an MD, so any aspects I tell about health or injuries or supplements, please check with your physician. I'm legally required to tell you that. The title of today's presentation is The Science and Art of Exercise and Building Muscle. The Science and Art of Exercise and Building Muscle. I've been lifting weights for going on 70 years. I'm a world champion powerlifter and bodybuilder. That's an important part of my credential. Also, I made a lot of mistakes on this journey, and I'm going to share that with you so you don't make the same mistakes I did. Overall, my intention is to encourage you and let you know what's in store for you and how to deal with the journey. I'm going to be talking about nutrition, oxygen, energy, the energy highways, muscles, neurons, mental attitude, and injuries. Now, weightlifting, if you do it long enough, you're definitely going to have injuries. Unless you're genetically gifted, you're going to have injuries. I've got a torn supraspinatus on my right side. Recently, at 83, I have a torn supraspinatus on my left side. I have a partial bicep tendon tear, partial meniscus tear. You do all you can to prevent it. I'm going to show you ways to deal with it nutritionally and different kinds of equipment to wear to help in the healing process. Now, you need to also know that muscle is not only for strength, but also when you're lifting weights, it strengthens your bones. It strengthens your bones. And as you get older, that comes in really handy. So if you fell or anything happened, your bones won't crack. That's when bones start going, we're in trouble. So weight-bearing exercise will strengthen your bones. Now, in terms of a path of less injury, if you do, I do the 5 rites for Tibetan yoga, qigong, stretching. I have a video called Dr. Nerenberg's 80th birthday message, where I demonstrate those methods. But today I'm going to focus on weightlifting, which is in America the most popular form of exercise that we have. The number of gyms, I have so many, is a testimonial to that. Certainly, to have strength, you need to be oxygenated. Some people actually wear an oxygen tank. They put an oxygen tank and they suck that down as they're working out. It's pretty rare. You don't see that much, but that will get more oxygen because you need oxygen to produce energy. Definitely, you're going to need the correct nutrition. And we're talking about nutrition and supplements. After you work out with weights, there's about a 2-hour anabolic window where the body's craving proteins. I should also tell you the 2-hour window of you're more prone of getting ill because of compromised immune system. So it's good to take vitamin C during your workout and right afterwards. So you want to get a very rapidly absorbed protein. Whey protein is one such protein. Of course, if you've already been eating your protein sources, chicken, fish, protein powder drinks during the day and during your workout, that can't hurt. Right after the workout, it's good to take branched-chain amino acids. Branched-chain amino acids. I'll be stepping out of camera, looking if I can find the supplements that I use for that. I like Life Extension brand for everything. So branched-chain amino acids. Now, the branched-chain amino acids has in it L-leucine, which is the most powerful anabolic amino acid ever. It stimulates muscle growth. So if you take branched-chain amino acids after your workout, that's going to facilitate it. Whey protein has a lot of amino acids, including branched-chain amino acids. But these are the ones that really stimulate the muscle growth. and the protein absorbing and getting the protein onto the muscles. Protein synthesis. Now keep in mind, when you lift weights, you are not building muscle. When you're lifting weights, you are not building muscle. In fact, you're tearing muscle down. I call it constructive injuries. Constructive injuries. The body then compensates with the proper rest and nutrition, key, compensates by making it stronger and bigger because it knows it's going to be exposed to stressors. So you want to be having progressive resistance, adding more weights. If we want to use bands or body weight, those are all good, but you want to put more and more strain on the muscles, and those injuries will then be healed up and come back stronger and bigger. Just like in life, it's a metaphor for life. We go through a lot of hardships, setbacks, betrayals, losses, all of that. One of the commandments of honor is, I'm grateful for the power I gain from hardship. Hardship could be physical, where you're building up muscle, or it could be emotional, and in which case you're actually learning wisdom, and you're also developing compassion. So hardship is good for us. I mean, nobody wants it, but when you go the journey of weightlifting, you're bringing the hardship to you. It's not just coming at you. You're bringing it. You're bringing that strain to yourself. You see people screaming, yeah, they're screaming, lifting the weights, whatever. They do not look happy when they do it. But that's the journey. Seeking hardship to strengthen us. And life does that for us. So then the most abundant amino acid in the muscle is L-glutamine. L-glutamine. Here's a bottle I have here. This one's not from Life Extension, another brand. But L-glutamine. So you want to be getting that through the day because your muscles, that's the main amino acid in your muscles. So you want your branched chain amino acids, you want your L-glutamine. Now the nutrition that you need to have the oxygen coming in, and also you need energy. So the oxygen, you need energy to energize the muscles for the contractions they have to do. Now, you have the myofibrils, which is the actin and the myosin. That's when you lift heavy weights, you're activating the myofibrils themselves, the muscle fibers themselves. Usually when you want to work out your myofibrils, you want to do 4 sets, 3 to 5 reps, where you're struggling for the last rep. Now, if you want to get a good pump and you're building up what is called the sarcoplasm, the muscle, the fluids, the energy fluids around the muscles, which has your glycogen, your mitochondria, water. You do a lot of reps, 15 to 25 reps, whatever it's going to be, curls, military presses, bend over rows, whatever it's going to be, tricep extensions, whatever you're going to do. But if you do a lot of reps and you keep going till it burns, that's when the growth hormones are coming out. So when you're doing the growth hormones, that stimulates burning the fat and building up the muscle. When you're going heavy, when you're lifting heavy weights, that's kicking up your testosterone. And it's good to start your workouts with a heavy compound move, like a bench press, squat, deadlift, bent over rows, military press. Those are compound moves, and so you can go heavier on those. Now, in terms of building up your testosterone, males and females both have that. It gives you a lot of strength. Mine at the age of 83, my last one I had done was about 850. Optimal is 600 to 900. So my testosterone level is actually higher than the average 20-year-old, and I follow a certain protocol. I don't use any steroids. I follow a certain protocol. And that testosterone is not only good for strength and sexual vitality, but very good for your heart and for your brain. So you want that. That testosterone is good. So I use olive oil and pomegranate juice, broccoli, and lifting heavy weights. some of the pomegranate juices that I use. I like to get organic ones. Here's one, 100%. This is a pomegranate juice I get at Trader Joe's, organic. Here's one from organic from another brand, Sadaf. But you want to have, and also it helps prevent prostate cancer and breast cancer. So this has a lot of benefits. I highly recommend having pomegranate juice. So your pomegranate juice, your olive oil, your broccoli, and then heavy weights. That'll kick up your testosterone. Now, if you're low on DHEA, you might want to supplement. My DHEA was low, so I have one from Life Extensions called 25 DHEA 100. So it's 25 milligrams with 100 milligrams of metabolites. And so I'm in a normal range now on that. But that can affect your testosterone level and your vitality and your overall well-being in many facets. So you want to have a blood workup at least once a year, preferably at least twice a year. I get it 3 times a year to watch how everything's doing, and I adjust my supplements and eating accordingly. So we're talking about growth hormones, testosterone. These are the anabolic hormones that we have. Now, when I say that the muscles are a longevity organ, they're not only useful for whatever we have to handle in our lives, they're actually found to be longevity organs secreting myokines, which cuts down on inflammation. It actually reduces inflammation. It's extremely good for us. You know, I've only found out about it as being a longevity organ in the last couple of years. It's a pretty new concept coming out. Back in the day, no one thought of it as a longevity organ. The most important muscles for long life, in terms of strength, are your legs. Strong legs are correlated with a longer life. It makes sense because as people get older, they fall and break their hips, break their shoulders, and that's often the beginning of the end for many of our honored elders. So you want to have strong legs. The next group of muscles that are most associated with long life are grip. So be able to grip something, hold on to something. Your grip is associated, correlated with long life. Legs and grip. You can develop your grip through different grip exercises, but the best one is you do hanging, even with weights hanging on you, you do hanging exercises. I once had a world record of 261 pounds per square inch when I was 70 years old. I was able to do a power hang with 310 pounds hanging on me. I was able to hang for 4 seconds, and that strengthened my grip enormously. So it's really the hanging that'll develop your grip. Now, in terms of energy, if you have some honey, particularly organic, unfiltered honey, you need to know that your adenosine triphosphate, it's abbreviated as ATP, for adenosine triphosphate. One component of it is ribose. So you have about 9 grams store of ribose in your body that gets used up about every 30 seconds. So if you're going to be doing a lot of exercise, it's a good idea to supplement with D-ribose. Here's the one I use, D-ribose. So what you do is you want to get about 5 grams before you work out. It's good to get about 5 grams 3 times a day. So you have a little scooper like that. It's good. It's a 5-carbon sugar, sweet, and I love my sweets. This one doesn't raise blood sugar level. So your D-ribose will help you generate the adenosine triphosphate, your ATP, that will be burned in the mitochondria of your cells. Every cell, every muscle cell, every brain cell has a mitochondria. That's the energy source, the energy powerhouse is your mitochondria. This will help generate that ATP to be burned in your mitochondria. Now, you also, the energy vitamin, and I'm looking where I have it here, is B12. B12, but you want, the key on anything you take, any supplement you take, you want something that's bioavailable, something that'll be absorbed more readily than the others. So let me see if I can find that one for you. Here's the one. This is the best one on the market. B12 Elite from Life Extension. It has methylcobalamin and adenosine cobalamin. These are very bioavailable, not only in your whole body, but for your brain. And I should also mention, when you're exercising, it increases the mitochondrial density in the brain, which could help prevent Alzheimer's. So exercise is not only good for your muscles and your bones, your tendons and your ligaments, it's also good for your brain because you're building up mitochondria. So this B12, it's a little tablet like that. Take 1 or 2 a day. You take that, chew it, and put it under your tongue. That could make a big difference in your energy. So you want to get your energy going for the workout. So I'm giving you a really good protocol for doing that. Now, so that's the energy. But then you have the energy highway, your arteries. If your arteries are clogged up and closing up, it's hard for the oxygen and nutrients to get to your muscles or your brain, for that matter. So you want to dilate your arteries. What does that in the endothelial cells, the inner layer in the arteries is the endothelial cells, which secrete nitrous oxide. Nitrous oxide dilates the blood vessels. Chocolate, here's some cocoa powder, and then chocolate will do that. Resveratrol will also activate your longevity genes, your sirtuin's energy genes, which is very powerful. It'll help you live longer, and it helps release that nitrous oxide. You want to dilate those blood vessels so all the nutrients and the oxygen can get to your muscles. I mean, what's the good if you have oxygen and nutrients if the highway can't carry it, if it's all clogged up? Another vitamin, a mineral that will dilate your blood vessels is magnesium and also potassium. So 500 milligrams. In fact, if God forbid you have a heart attack, the more magnesium you have in your cells, the less damage there'll be to your heart during a heart attack. In fact, they used to, during heart surgeries, put magnesium directly into the heart to reduce the damage done. So here's magnesium. Now this one I like is because it's a Life Extension. It has potassium and magnesium, but this one is extended release, so it releases magnesium for 6 hours. I take these together every night when I'm going to sleep, because if you were to get a heart attack, it's typically in the morning. You want that protection from the magnesium. I had a heart attack when I was 61, 22 years ago. So thank God I survived it. But this will help you survive a heart attack. But also dilating your blood vessels, very important, so that the nutrients and the oxygen could reach your muscles and your brain. Your brain is very involved in the whole working out. Now, one of the things you want to do, particularly as you get older, over 40, 50, is what's called sarcopenia. The body starts eating up your own muscles. You start losing muscle mass. You just keep losing it over your life. Being active, lifting weights will help prevent that. But also if you're taking vitamin D with HMB, which stands for a very long chemical name. So I'm going to show that to you. So here's HMB. And then you want to take with vitamin D. The best D is if you're taking it with K, because that'll help you absorb the D more effectively. So you've got this one's Life Extension, K with D. You want to get at least 5,000 units a day of vitamin D. And when you take them together, they work synergistically, so the HMB will have even more of an effect, and the HMB will make the vitamin D more absorbed. So they work synergistically. Vitamin D also works synergistically with magnesium. If you're taking vitamin D with magnesium, you'll get higher concentration of magnesium in your cells, and also you'll get higher concentration of vitamin D than if you didn't combine them. Vitamin D works synergistically with both.
Doctor, I have a question.
Sure, go ahead.
Well, There's so many different types of magnesium, right? So what about when you're like having difficulty sleeping?
Well, that one, yeah, there's a particular magnesium from ComMag. ComMag. Now this one has a magnesium that's magnesium acetyltaurinate, which is pretty rare, so specifically for relaxing, stress, and sleep. The other magnesium, magnesium malate, and so forth, not so much for that. But this is the one you want for sleeping. ComMag by Life Extension.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, the other thing is on your arteries, you're putting a lot of pressure. When you lift weights, it raises your blood pressure. You get a spike. It could rupture some of the plaque on your arteries, and that'll cause a heart attack because when you get a rupture of plaque, blood platelets congregate around it as if it's a wound, and those blood platelets congregating where the plaque ruptured cause a thrombus, and so the blood can't get through because you got your own blood platelets causing a heart attack. So you want to stabilize that plaque. So even though the tremendous pressure you're putting on it through your exercise, so Arterial Protect with Life Extension stabilizes plaque. Arterial Protect has gotu kola and pycnogenol on it, all natural ingredients. Now, if you have high cholesterol and you're on a statin drugs will also stabilize your plaque, in addition to reducing cholesterol and triglycerides. But it also could weaken your muscles and make you more prone to tears and ruptures of your tendons. So it's a cost-benefit analysis. But this doesn't have those kind of negative side effects. This is natural. Now, your neurons and your brain are going to be sending signals to your muscle. You have the myoneural junction. So the signal being passed from the dendrites on the neurons, and then down the axon, and then out the dendrites at the end of the axon. There's a synapse there, acetylcholine or some other neurohumor. Those chemicals transverse the gap at the synapse and stimulate the other neuron. So your neurons. So you need to have enough. Potassium is important because you have a potassium pump keeping your neurons. So you want to get good. And then you want to take B complex. B complex. That's good for your nerves. So you got to keep also, it's not just muscles. Your nerves are involved with it. Your blood's involved with it. It's got to be a coordinated orchestra. It's all got to be energy flowing, the nerves firing, the myoneural junctions working, the muscles contracting. You got to feed the whole thing. I'm giving you some idea about how to do that. Now, mental attitude is key. Mental attitude is key. I created the concept, or the spirit inspired it in me, I should say, of the honor athlete. And my goddaughter Tracy makes an excellent presentation of this, and she has to the school district in San Bernardino. And then Nancy's presented the honor athlete to the private school where her child goes to school. You want to make sure when I'm teaching anybody, I'm getting them strong. We don't want to thug people up. They really should have the idea they're going to use it in honorable and constructive purposes as strength. So we want to just turn people loose with these weapons of strength. So I have people take a pledge. I pledge by all that is sacred to me that I'm not using my strength and knowledge for unjust causes, but only use it for constructive and honorable purposes. I am an honor athlete. That's key, that you want to use it for honorable purposes. Now, if you watch any of my world records, I'm always pausing, doing my deep breathing. In fact, you watch anybody trying to do the personal record lift, or a world record lift, or national lift, or state lift record, you'll see them taking deep breaths, doing the benches, and they go out. So you're saturating as much oxygen as you get coming in. Again, I've done it on a rare occasion. I've seen others do it. It's pretty rare. People have oxygen tanks, sucking down that oxygen to really oxygenate themselves. So I'll say to myself as I'm getting ready to make the lift, and, in fact, he will play the video of me doing different lifts. And you see me sitting there quietly before I'm doing it, and I'm going, I can, I will, I can, I will. Now, once I see now, it doesn't matter what it is. I remember one time I was doing a strength demonstration at Whittier College, pulling 14,000 pounds of trucks while I'm sitting on the ground. And I never even tried it before. I didn't know if it was going to go. There were two F-150 trucks yoked together with a bunch of people in one of them. Once you go now, whatever you I use the word now, you're all in. It doesn't matter what happens. You go. When I do my bench press world record at 65, I bench press 365. When I was 70 years old, I set a world record on the power pull-up of 140 pounds hanging from a chain belt. Those were world records. But I'm using, these are the methods that I've used. Just so you know, I had the good fortune of knowing C.T. Fletcher. 60% of my victories as a powerlifter and bodybuilder I attribute to him. I did come up with a couple of techniques of my own. The way I was able to do a pull-up with 140 pounds is I'd hang 200 pounds from a chain belt, step up a little ladder, grab the bar, and then do a slow, controlled negative. Walk up again, do a negative with 200 pounds. So 140 after that felt pretty light. Before I was going to do my 365 bench world record at 65 years of age. And by the way, drug-free, no wraps, no scraps, nothing, just raw. CT used to call it Nerenberg style. So the way I did that was, on a Smith machine, you can put the stops at a certain point, and where I can just do a 3-inch lockout at the top. So I was able to do a 3-inch lockout with 560 pounds on it. Because a lot of it's psychological. If you see that much weight on it, it's very intimidating. So I got used to seeing 5 plates on the side, and I'm used to feeling what it feels like when you're moving it on my tendons. So when I got the handoff of 365, it didn't feel that heavy. It wasn't intimidating because I'd handle 560. Of course, I couldn't bench it, but I knew what it felt like on my tendons. So when he handed it off to me, I took it down, and boom, it shot up. Got a little stuck at the top a little, and then pushed through it. So it takes, in terms of working out, there's dedication and commitment. You have to be really motivated. Of course, that's important. But the important is not how long you work out, but the consistency. 3 minutes a day is far superior to 0. It's easier to go from 3 minutes to an hour than it is from 0 to 3. Of course, with any of the nutrients that I've told you about, but you can bioavailable, and I've talked to you about bioavailable. Fish oil helps with a lot of absorbing many things. Each one has ways of absorbing it. Probiotics are very important as a way of just dealing with anything that you're putting in your system. Kefir, yogurt, sauerkraut, apple cider vinegar, kimchi, all of those, any fermented foods, you want to get all those probiotics in you. Now, the last thing I want to tell you about is injuries. I've told you I have a supraspinatus tear on my right side, and my 83rd year of life I have my left side, partial tear on my lower bicep. My upper bicep tendon tore off and came down here. I never did surgeries on any of them. I just live with torn tendons, and I work around my injuries. And that's the key thing, knowing how to work around your injuries. The way to help prevent those injuries, you start stretching. Doesn't work. When I was younger, as an athlete in high school, we stretched first. Then they found you more prone to injuries with that, and you do your stretching after your workout. You stretch it out. But the best way is you want to warm up. So if you're doing a bench press and you want to do, 300 pounds, or you want to do 225, you start with something light, maybe 135, maybe less. And you just do a bunch of reps warming up your muscles. Now, people don't know this, but warming up, you can literally warm your muscles. Put a heating blanket. I keep a heating blanket in my gym downstairs. You warm up your body, and you'll get better contraction. I remember when I was taking physiology as an undergraduate, we would exercise out the gastrocnemius muscle of a frog, the calf muscle, with a sciatic nerve. So if you just stimulate the sciatic nerve with an electrical impulse, you get a certain contraction that will show on the kymograph, maybe that much. The needle would move. But if then you put a heat to the muscle and to the nerve where you're heating it up, you're literally heating it up. instead of contraction being that big, it'll be that big. So when they talk about warming up, we're talking literally warming up through going light on what you're doing first, but also just heating your body, heating your shoulders. I have a friend, and he's an amateur boxer, and he had a shoulder injury. I said, why don't you just put some heating pads on both shoulders before you go out there? And he said that's a great idea, and he did very well in his match. So certainly the warming up through light weights or putting heating on you is good. But once you injure yourself, which I've done, I'm cautious. You can be cautious all you want. We're all going to get injured in this unless you're genetically gifted. Now, most people don't know this, but the North Pole and magnets have a small one here. Actually, speeds up the healing process. And the North Pole have a larger magnet here. I go through phases where I put this thing on me when I'm sleeping, or I tape these things on, or I wrap something on it to hold it on to me. The North Pole has the healing. As a matter of fact, in Japan and different parts of the world, they have under their mattress they have magnets, the North Pole facing up. But in this country, you can't get that. But I bought a mattress like that once, and a lot of things I'm telling you, you're going to say, well, does it work, Dr. Nerenberg? Well, the science indicates. That's why I call it the science and art of building muscle, of exercise and building muscle. A lot of this is your own art, your own individual needs, and you're taking into account the science. There's a lot of good science. Well, you got to kind of mix it into your life in a way that makes sense to you, and that's the art of it. So the magnets. Now, I use this all the time. This is a horse liniment. They put this on horses who are injured on their legs. And it's not expensive. You buy the bottle for $10 or whatever. So this is used by veterinarians. So you figure these racehorses are getting that, and you figure it's going to help us. So I use that. My gardener had some injuries. I gave it to him. He said, boy, that really helped him. My wife, it's helped her with her injuries. Sure helps me. And I didn't come up with the idea of doing it. I read it somewhere, I think in Powerlifting USA, and I just ordered it and I've been using it ever since. So I put that on. I put 3 coats on, whatever I wanted. It used to come as a liquid. Now it's a gel, which works even better. And then I have something that heats up the muscle. I like this Dr. Sheffield's muscle rub. So I have that on, then I put the muscle rub on, which really creates a nice heat. And it feels very, very supportive. Now, when you get an injury, you want to get, you want to take 30 grams of collagen. I like to use Dr. Axe's multi-collagen protein. You want to get 30 grams of collagen, and that'll help repair the muscle, the tendons. Very, very effective. In fact, one time I had an injury, I used it, I couldn't believe it. I took only 20 grams of this with MSM, which also helps heal up muscles and tendons. So I took 5 pills of this with that, and it was great. Later on, it didn't help me as much, but it did that day. It was kind of amazing. So you want the MSM. The other one that's pretty commonly used is glucosamine and chondroitin. This is by Life Extension, this one. And these are ones to help heal up your muscles, your tendons, and ligaments. Now, certainly creatine, I like the one from Life Extension, comes in capsules, creatine monohydrate. Creatine will increase your strength and your muscle size. There's a little controversy about it in terms of affecting your kidneys. I just take it maybe once every couple of weeks. When I was younger, I took more of it, but I used to get muscle cramps from it. You got to drink a lot of water with the creatine, and you have to cycle off of it. If you're going to take creatine, you want to go every other day. It will increase your muscle size and strength maybe by 10%. So creatine, it's natural, it's not a banned substance, is another good one for strength. Now, I go to the gym, I work out, but I've got my own gym. I have one in my building here that I built. I have one in my garage. I've got one in my office. Between seeing patients, I'll grab some of my exercise equipment I can do right at my desk. I'll show you some of them. This one's for the forearms. I saw this on Facebook, ordered it. So you work it that way. So between sessions, I'll use this, and then when I get there in the morning, I'll do some of this. You can feel a nice burn getting in the forearm. Then, this one I got a big 5. So you're coming here, you're getting your forearm with that. So it's something you got to leave stuff right near you, I find, too. Otherwise I don't use it. You want to be able to work out during downtime. So you do both arms that way, and then I turn it this way, and I work out the top that way with it. Now, then I've had different squeezers, a wooden one like that. I have a plastic one that is adjustable, and then here's a metal one that it's calibrated for 150 pounds on it. So I'll use these. Now, then, sometimes between sessions, somebody call a patient, they don't answer, I say I'll call you back shortly, so I give them a little time. Take this out. Get some exercise with this bending bar, that way. That way. Get a nice workout with it. So to really work out, you want to work out during downtime while you're watching TV or you're waiting for something. Now going back to injuries. So let's say you have the injury. I've got sleeve. I had to try a lot of different sleeves. I like this one for me. I'll put it on my knees. I've got a partial tear on one of my meniscus on my left knee. If it's acting up, I'll put that on there. I've got one for both legs. I've tried all kinds of ones, and I ended up with this one. Now, if you get with tennis elbow, or you start getting pain up here from weightlifting or tennis, you change the focal point for your contraction. You put on a little strap like that. That can make a big difference of taking the strain off of the elbow. A little strap like that. And times when I'm working out, not always. When I was going for world records, I didn't wear anything like this. But it has a little strap and gives a little wrist support. And I don't mind having calluses on my hand, but there are times when I like to wear gloves when I'm working out. Get a little extra support. Now, right now I have a shoulder injury. So this thing, I've ordered one with a heater and a massager in it. It goes like this. This is a little hard to find where to get this one. But you have that. And that really gives a nice support, and it kind of comforts that shoulder, to be honest with you. It really helps. Also, for upper arm injuries, have another one like that. Goes up here. And a little strap to tighten it up a bit. And like that. So these are, and I've spent a lot of money on trying different ones, and these are the ones I ended up with. Of course, what it comes down to is how much do you want it? This is a lot of trouble, a lot of expenditure of energy and time. Like most things in life, how much do you want? I wanted it a lot. I was obsessed with this, and ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be Superman. And then you get older, you want girls to look twice, you want guys to think twice. Then you get more built up, you don't want to lose what you developed. Then after a while you do it for health reasons. Then you keep doing it, and it's not even an option. You don't do it, you just do it. It's just part of your lifestyle. You brush your teeth, you comb your hair, you work out. It gets like that. Well, I've given you a lot of information. I mentioned to you to write down notes because I knew it was going to be a lot of information for you. And so before I'll show you some things I do in my building between sessions. I go to the back there, I do stuff with some little bit heavy stuff, goes with light stuff. I'll do a little demonstration of it. I want to do that for you because I want you to feel if an 83-year-old guy can do it, who's got all these injuries, and I had a heart attack when I was 61, prostate cancer at 65, took the record of strongest drug-free man in the world from age and weight when I had that cancer. So if that guy can do it, I want you to realize you can do this. You've got it. You can build yourself up to whatever you want. It's doable. You can also use isometrics. This is a good one to use. Get your arms and gets the pecs. It's good for men's pecs, good for women's pecs to help uplift their breasts, natural breast lift, but also gets the arms. And then you find the right spot. You find some of each wherever you're holding that, it really has a good effect. So you can be doing isometrics like this. You're pressing, so you're getting my left bicep, my right arm, tricep. Here's my left tricep, my right bicep, and that way. See, you can be doing isometrics. These are things you can do while you're sitting around. You want to have to think, people say, yeah, I got to go to the gym to work out. Well, that's great. But also you know that the earth is your gym. The floor is your gym. You can go down for push-ups, squats, leg raises, whatever. It's all doable. But before we go to the next step, I want to open it up for comments and questions. Keep in mind that I hear feedback all the time. That as much as people benefit from what I say, they benefit as much or more from what our wonderful, amazing audience, we have some great people here. What you have to say is going to have a tremendous influence on people as much or more than what I have to say. So I'm going to open it up for your comments, your questions. The floor is all yours.
Dr. Nerenberg, it's Fernando.
Fernando, good to have you here, Fernando.
Thank you. I really appreciate the emphasis you put on injury prevention. I just wanted to share something really quickly. You mentioned you had a tennis elbow. I recently had a golfer's elbow, so like the inside of my elbow. And something so simple like wearing gloves with wrist support would have stopped. They said it was the ulnar nerve, so it pulled from like the elbow to the wrist. But they said if you would have worn some gloves with a strap on your wrist, you would have prevented that. Or even just some kind of support on your elbow, you would have alleviated that. So something so simple like that would have, it's an injury I've been dealing with it for 4 months, so I'm barely going to start back up again. But something so simple like that, like you mentioned, would have prevented my injury. Well,
even with it, if you use that strap I just showed you around there, that could take away the pain when you're doing it. Also, you're taking the supplements. I said that could really help speed up recovery a lot.
Thank you. Yes, I am taking the collagen. I just started taking that, and then I'm also taking the turmeric for inflammation.
Turmeric for inflammation, fish oil for inflammation. Turmeric, even curcumin's even better with garlic and ginger together. It really is good for inflammation, and fish oil is good.
Thank you.
No,
turmeric before bed with milk is very good. If you
who's speaking?
Put turmeric in, is best.
Oh yeah, what were you saying?
Turmeric with lukewarm milk is very good before bedtime.
Yeah, that might help people sleep. I'll tell you one thing about milk. I mean, it's got a lot of protein in it. It's got your calcium in it. And the China study from Dr. Campbell, it's associated with breast cancer and prostate cancer. I got the the prostate cancer when I was 65 because I used to drink a lot of milk. Probably a little bit. It may not be as bad for you, but it's the casein protein that's the problem. I mean, he had a thick study on it called the China study from Dr. Campbell. Yeah, but thank you for that input. And I used to grow up with warm milk. Going to sleep, warm milk was known to put you to sleep. I grew up with that. I grew up with the wonders of milk. Who knew? Who knew? But thank you. Who else would like to make a comment or ask a question?
I know you talked. Hi, Dr. Stephanie again.
Stephanie, good.
I know you talked about like anti-inflammation and whatnot. I've heard a lot about. What are your thoughts on like the vibration plates for inflammation in knee and joints?
You know, the vibration plates are known to increase strength. Just doing that and even working out on it. I have some. You know, they sell for like $2,000 for the real big ones. I got one for about $150. I think it's just as effective. Go through phases where I use it and I don't use it. But it's got a lot of good research behind it, how it really works and does that. But your strength goes up more when you exercise on top of those vibration plates. So everything I know about it is positive,
Okay. Thank you.
very much so. Anybody else have anything you want to ask or say?
Dr. Nerenberg, this is Raphael. I have a question.
Raphael, good.
The B12 that you just showed.
B12 elite.
Okay.
Yeah, B12 elite. It's got the methylcobalamin and the adenosylcobalamin, so it makes it very bioavailable. Most of the B12s are cyanocobalamin, which is not that bioavailable. So this is the one you want.
Okay, great. Thank you.
No, you're most welcome. Hugh, you going to say something?
After you've had injuries, how do you exercise and overcome the fear of getting more injuries?
Yeah. So Hugh was asking, if you injure yourself, how do you overcome the fear of having more injuries? Well, I used to be able to tackle anything. I don't care what the weight was, I'd go for it. And then the first injury I was lower bicep tendon. It went pop, and it was black and blue. I go, what the heck? I was doing some deadlifts. The next one was this one. My bicep tendon tore up. It went pop, and it was all black and blue and bloody. You can see it under the skin. So you certainly get more cautious about it. Now I'm on a Lipitor. You're on a statin drug. It does predispose these injuries. It's a trade-off. It does reduce my cholesterol and my triglycerides and stabilizes plaque and helps with arterial inflammation. But yeah, you become very cautious. When I'm doing exercise, I'm watching, is this feeling like I'm straining it? And even with caution, I've had tendons tear in it, and there was no pop and no black and blue. So you do become more cautious. You pay attention to a strain that feels like it's on a tendon. You get to know your body pretty well, and you work out around it. I mean, I don't do bench pressing now. I'm a world champion bench presser. I don't even do it now. Even lightweight hurts it. So, but I do all kinds of other exercises. I'll demonstrate a few to you in about 10 minutes when we go to the other room. I'll definitely hit the weights. So if I've got something bothering me, I can't push, but I can do pull. I don't have any injuries there. My legs are not seriously injured, so I can do leg presses. I use 315 on the vertical leg press, which is a lot harder than a slanted leg press. I can do those certain things. I do slanted sit-ups, do curls, reverse curls, hammer curls. I use bands, weights. Bands are probably safer than weights in terms of injuries, but yeah, you become aware. Once it happens, you know what could happen to you, and it does. You work around it, and you become more cautious, and you hope you don't get too many more injuries. But if you don't want to go this path, I said I have the 5 rights to Tibetan yoga, qigong, stretching, cardio, and I demonstrate that on Dr. Nerenberg's 80th birthday message, which on your Honor Therapy website, it's on the fitness section. Good question.
What about fear of injuries?
Yeah, you have a fear of it, but it's not a paralyzing fear. It doesn't stop me from doing it. So if you have a certain amount of fear, the fear can just be concern and caution. You don't become paralyzed and say, oh, I'm never going to touch weights again because I had that. That's not a path I'm going to go. And most people I know have injured themselves don't stop weightlifting. There's a concern because you know you're vulnerable.
At what time do you repair the injuries?
Well, if you get a tendon tear, the question is at what point do you repair? If you get a tendon tear, like when I tore the bicep, you want to try to get, if you're going to get surgery, you want to do it within 5 days. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want the surgery. So I just live with my bicep sunk down here. So when I do flexing for the camera, I'll use my left arm, not my right, because my bicep's way down here. And then that destabilizes my bench pressing. When I was younger, maybe I would have done the surgery, but I've already achieved what I want as a powerlifter, bodybuilder. So now it's a matter of fitness, health, and as I often say, staying alive is a full-time job. So it became a hobby as well. And it's good if you're going to do a surgery, you want to do it typically within 5 days, where they can go in there and find the tendon and get it and staple it on. Up to now, I haven't done it. If this bicep tendon was to tear off, I would do the surgery. I don't want to have two arms like that. Yeah. Other comments and questions?
Hi, Doctor. Joanne is here.
Joey, welcome, Joey.
Oh, thank you. Hey, I was going to ask you, you have a great suggestions as far as all the vitamins and everything for different, for the energy, for nutrition. How I can refer to a list of all the things that you have stated in the meeting?
Well, this video will be on the Honor Therapy. You'll be able to get it off of that. And you can just, when you watch this video, take notes. That's why I said to everybody, have a pen and paper, because I knew I'm going to be throwing a lot at you. But you'll have the video, that way you can get it at your leisure.
No, but very good. I took a lot of notes. So,
oh, good.
Very good.
No, that's very good. And that vitamin D that I told you to take, which works synergistically with the magnesium and HMB, that vitamin D will extend your lifespan and health span. And your blood work, they say if it's over 30, it's normal, but you don't want normal. You want optimal. Optimal is 50 to 80. If your blood work is less than 50, you're going to have a shorter life. So it's not only going to help you with dilating your blood vessels and absorbing the magnesium and help you with HMB to help prevent sarcopenia, it's going to help you live longer. So a lot of things I'm telling you are good for you in many more ways than what I've already told you. Many more. Good. Glad you asked that.
Doctor, I have a question.
Who is this speaking? Amber! Ha! Now, Amber is a very committed weightlifter, let me tell you.
What's your thoughts on trace minerals?
I think we need them. I think it's good to take it, because if you have a deficiency, it's going to be a problem. I take it once in a while. I'll take a trace mineral. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
yes.
copper.
I know they're pretty popular in the bodybuilding community because it helps with cramping.
Yeah, well, magnesium helps a lot with cramping as well. Magnesium gets cramping, but yeah, the trace minerals are good. You're getting so many of them: zinc, the copper, all the other ones, chromium. There's so many things that you can get there.
Iron, magnesium.
Now, iron you have to be careful about. If you have too much iron in your system, it's a problem. You want to look at your blood test. Now, I was low on my ferritin, so I take an iron supplement. But too high in iron content is dangerous for the cardiovascular system. It's good to know your blood work before you take some things. Yeah, I always get, when I have my blood work, I always get my magnesium tested and my B12 tested. So I'm always aware, and I've always done well with it because I supplement. I'm always in a good range with that. But yeah, blood work's important. You want to get at least two. You want to look at your hormones. You want to see where your. See, it's good if you have high testosterone like I do, but more importantly is the free testosterone. My free testosterone is really optimal. And then, especially in a man, if your testosterone is going up, that's great. But if your estrogen is going up with it, that's a problem. So you have tested your testosterone, your free testosterone, and estradiol. Optimal for a man on estradiol is 20 to 30. I keep mine in the 25, it's around 25. One time I went high and I started taking Kristen to bring it down. It's a natural aromatase inhibitor. But yeah, when you're testing testosterone and free testosterone, you definitely want to be testing your estradiol for the estrogen level, because you don't want that going up as your testosterone goes up. Now, you have so much expertise in this yourself and so committed. Thank you for asking about that. Is there anything else you'd like to ask or say?
Oh, no, I think you're very knowledgeable as well, in, nutrition-wise and lifting weights. So I'm glad that I was able to join.
I'm really glad you're here, and hopefully Caesar's here. And I'll send you the video when I have it, probably in the next day or two. Well, we're going to go to the other room, and I'll do a few demonstrations of what I can do with my injuries. All right, so I'll start off with a compound move. It's about 200 pounds, it's about 110, 120 pounds. This gets the back, the spine. It's not too heavy this way, but it gets a good pressure on my spine and my legs. Alright, so then I go to the curls, strict curl. So that's a strict curl, which really hits the bicep really well. What I'll do now is I'll do some hammer curls. So now I'm going to do some hammer curls. It's giving up the testosterone going from the compound move I did earlier. So now I'm going to do some shrugs, hit the traps. This concludes my presentation of the science and art of exercise and muscle building. It's my intention to have an impact on you to encourage you on your journey of fitness.
Good. 60. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 70. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 75.
You got it! 24, 25, 26, 27.
Ready, Hugh?
Mm-hmm. One, 2, 3, 4.
I'm going to do a power grip. My record to date is 255 pounds. I'm going to go for another record today with my witnesses here. Let's see how it goes. But I'm strong. I'm feeling it. Oh, I'm pumped. All right, 261 pounds.
Go, 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 go. Come on, you can do it. Go, 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 go.
Crazy!
Yeah! Inverted power hang, 72 years old.
Got it, doctor.
Excellent.
The sea of destiny is in your deepest struggle. God's will and mine be one, and I wish you well. You are co-creator, respectfully real. There's a way in the valley that turns weakness to steel. We're known through all eternity. From strife we gain power, clothed in grace and love, disciples of honor. All the days of our lives refuse the way of shame. We wish nobody harm, have no one to blame. Your high calling will be done, and pure eyes now glow. In darkness crave the good, like waters from the desert flow. I pledge my love all the days of my life. I pledge my soul to all that is good. I pledge my heart to my brothers and sisters who I join in the light, leave a legacy of honor. We're known through all eternity. From strife we gain power, clothed in grace and love, disciples of honor. All the days of our lives refuse the way of shame. We wish nobody harm, have no one to blame. Your high calling will be done, and pure eyes now glow. In darkness crave the good, like waters from the desert flow.